Welcome to your 2020 COVID-19 impacted draft fantasy preview, GOAT Rodeo style. First of all, I just wanted to say, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be involved in this league, for being awesome human beings, each and every one of you, trying your best every day. That's all we can ever ask for, and just a little shout out to each one of you. Love you guys. And let's get it on. I mean, let's talk about this league thing. I can't believe we're playing football this year. So I'm excited about that. 2020 pre-draft scout. Here it is in all its glory. Regular season champ was yours truly. Me. I racked up at 11 wins and 2 losses. There was quite a competition. 2 teams were 10-3 at the end of the season. And I gotta tell you, it feels good. It feels good to put up 10 plus wins in a season. You got some pretty smart cookies, some pretty smart people in this league, and you guys put up one hell of a competition year after year. It certainly isn't something that gets ran away with every year. Well, unless Chad's really on his game. And anyways, we'll get into those details a little bit here. Go Rodeo champ was Kent Jensen, dominated every week of the playoffs. We'll get into his season as well, but congratulations to Kent. What'd you do with the money? That's what we want to really know. We want to know what you did with the money, Kent. Did you go on a trip? Was it an all expenses paid trip? Please go vote for the money. We're talking about going to 40, or were we at already? I thought we were at 30, right? We were at 30. Talking about going to 40. Anyways, vote on that thing. I don't want to put anybody, I know money's tight for some people right now. I don't want to put anybody in a bind. Personally, I've been very, very fortunate and count my lucky stars because our business is absolutely gangbusters right now because of the COVID thing. It actually helped us as far as earnings. But anyways, overall draft tendencies for 2020. So this is the last 2 years that we've gone. We had rosters were different in the 21 years of this league as it has evolved, as it has gone from performance scoring and individual defensive players and all these other kind of, I don't know what to call those kind of rules. Non-standard, I guess you could call them. I don't want to paint them in a negative light because I really enjoyed those rules. I really enjoyed that this used to have a totally custom scoring system, and now it's pretty much standard, half point PPR. Pretty much standard, but I feel like it's fairest. I feel like, the data's in. Anyways, 2019 was back to running back heavy from 2018's more wide receiver running back kind of back and forth split. So 2019 was, we saw the return of some established running backs coming in and being pretty reliable. So I think that will carry that momentum. A running back is going to be your round 1 pick, is going to carry forward. So I'd expect 19 running backs off the board by round 5. Dalvin Cook is the only one that has been selected as a keeper. Right now, no one else has a keeper selected. Dalvin Cook, of course, is on my team, and I expect the Vikings to run the football quite a bit. The keepers won't be locked until an hour before the draft. That makes it extremely difficult to set any kind of, draft strategy, in my opinion. Especially because the swing, this could swing so heavily to it being, 25 wide receivers off the board by round 5. So it's really in your best interest, if you're going to be invested in this league, to try to be here and to try to attend the draft so that you can change your strategy and adjust accordingly to what other people are doing. Sometimes we see a run on tight ends, which is really, really weird, but you see that even in round 2. There's been some tight ends selected in the past 2 years. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's been tight ends selected. A lot of tight ends actually in 5, which is kind of weird. QBs, not such a hot commodity in the first 5 rounds. That's the other observation you can look at there. You can pretty much take whoever you want at QB in the first 5 rounds and not feel like you're gambling too much. When you are preparing for your draft, make sure that you type in search for COVID-19 opt-outs. Make sure that you know who will not be playing this year because they have opted out of the season and you don't draft those people. As is tradition, The draft order, the conferences, and the schedule will all be set 1 hour before the draft. I'll be hosting a video call. We'll be kind of talking some smack and, just kind of hanging out and having some drinks. Bloody Marys. Anybody? So, yeah, that's what we'll be doing on draft day, which is on Sunday at 4 p.m., I think. Sunday at 4 p.m., I believe. I guess I could check it right here. We just go back to the league home. September 6th, Sunday, September 6th at 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That is when you can expect to be here for the draft. Okay, so on to the first team in the scouting report. In 2020, this was the best regular season team, my team, with an average of 13.5 waiver moves per the entire season over the last 2 seasons. So I think it was 16 last season, and I think it was like 9 the 2018. But anyways, I have a tendency to go running back, wide receiver, and then hit QB. That is not just a recent trend. I will tell you that is a strong. That is a strong historical trend. So just to give you more context and more data as you come into the league this year, and some of you only been with the league 2 or 3 seasons. A lot of you guys have been with the league for all 21 seasons now. But yeah, we've got some new guys, and I want to bring you guys into the fold. Give you that big goat rodeo hug. Give you that rope. Lasso your ass up. Next team in the scout is Papa Rincon. Last season was a huge improvement, tying with 7 wins. Looked really, really good going into the playoffs. Average of 5.5 waiver wire moves over the last 2 seasons. Not a lot needed. Not a lot of injuries. Not a lot of, just kind of have a lot of middling starters in your stable. That's really in your lineup, in your stable. Tendency to select running back or wide receiver best available for first 5 rounds. Pretty much just going back and forth, picking the best skill position player. DeAndre Hopkins, the wide receiver, is probably going to be your keeper as you go into the 2020 season. Next team on the list is a original team, Drac Pedal, the top team in 2018, bottom team in 2019, recommitted to participation in 2020. I'm excited. Drac has kind of cleared out a little place in his heart for fantasy football, and here we are. And he averages 9 waiver wire moves. Actually hit 10 waiver wire moves. I think it was all during 1 week. I think he just did a mass drop in one week. Anyways, tendency to select running back, wide receiver, best available, pretty much down the board. Although it is heavy wide receiver strategy in the second round, which I think he'll keep with. Alvin Kamara, the running back from New Orleans, probably going to be the keeper here. Coming in at the third team here is the Radicals. Eric's team, first round playoff loss after 10-3 season in 2019. Remarkable 2019 season and an early exit. That's too bad. Running back, wide receiver, running back in round 3. Safety running back, and then wide receiver QB split in rounds 4 and 5. So this is a guy that you can, maybe be afraid that he's going to snipe a QB out that you'd had your eye on for round 6 if you don't get him earlier. Aaron Rodgers, Chris Carson, Tyreek Hill, Le'Veon Bell. There's a lot of studs on this team. This team was pretty lights out in 2019, and he's got some really talented players to go along with that. So Eric, I don't know who you're going to select as a keeper, but I would select one of those 4 names. I would select. The next team on the list is the Dutchman's Crevice. Mike's team finished 10-3, an extremely strong finish this season for Mike. Way to go! Congratulations. A great player performance, and then Kent hit Kent in second round, and I'm pretty sure that if you would have played any other team besides Kent that week, you would have won. And I remember having some beers and cheering. Maybe a little bit for your team during that game over at Kent's house. So that was kind of cool. Keeper option here is probably Zeke Elliott. Ezekiel will likely be the keeper here, but you went running back, and then wide receiver 3 times, which, pretty straightforward. Draft scout Casey Robinson's 6 and 7 team busted hard in the consolation bracket. Very active with 20 waiver wire moves. Pretty active team all over. The one piece of research I didn't do for this is I didn't look at trades last year and what the end results were. But usually we talk about those during the season, and maybe at the end of the season we talk about who got the better deal. Casey, kind of an unconventional drafter here. Running back, tight end, running back, wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver. So that's the first 5 rounds. So tight ends going in the first 4 rounds for Casey a couple times. I honestly, I didn't catch that. I think he selected Kelsey though in the second round last year. Maybe he does that again. Maybe sticks with tight end. What you can expect for Casey is that he's going to take the guy that has the most potential for points during the season. That's the guy he's going to take. Keeper options: quarterback, Ryan Wilson, Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, maybe one or the other. I'm thinking he goes quarterback. I don't know. Maybe not. Kent's practice squad, the team that won it all last year, 7-6, dominated playoffs with most points each round. He's a great. One thing I'll say about Kent, if he gives you information on draft day, definitely listen to it. Definitely, he's a really, really smart fantasy football mind, and I mean, obviously he won last season, right? So just make sure he talks about Aaron Jones or something like that. Just make sure to listen. I don't know who he keeps here. I don't know if he keeps anyone. I honestly don't think he does keep anyone. I think Breeze is gone and Aaron Jones is gone. This team, this winning team, had the lowest points for of any of the playoff teams, which is kind of fucking crazy. Running back, wide receiver, first 2 rounds. So there was a strategy for the last 2 years for Kent: wide receiver, running back, wide receiver. Oh, I forgot to mention, Casey's also an original team. That was good to know. Coming into Chad's team, Chad has a long history with the league as well. He has got playoffs, wins, Go Rodeo crowns, year after year. Really, really tough competitor. He averaged 13.5. I thought this number was going to be bigger for Chad. I thought that we'd see more waiver wire moves for his team because he is a pretty active owner, but no. So 7 wins, got him into the playoffs, and played incredibly well. The strategy, it's looking like running back. First 3 rounds, running back, pretty much. Probably mixing in a wide receiver between rounds 1 and 2, depending on what's available. You always go in round 4 wide receiver. I think this is classic Chad strategy. Maybe he picks up a tight end if he sees a run on him. I feel like Chad is a pretty reactionary drafter, meaning that he's maybe somebody that's not looking at by position, or he's flipping between that and the overall, and maybe because I put less weight on. If I'm going overall rankings and who's available there, I put less emphasis on those listings. I put more emphasis on the by position listing, and I weight those accordingly. Anyways, I don't want to get into my draft strategy too much. We're talking about Chad, right? So that's what you can expect from him. Second highest points against last year. Net negative points for versus points against. If we look at those two numbers side by side. It's kind of rare for a team to have, more points against than points for, make the playoffs with a winning record, and then get pretty deep in there to finish second. So second place team was Chad's last year. Congratulations, Chad. I don't know if he takes Dak or David Johnson. I would assume one of those two is gonna stay on his team, but hard to say. The Ricky Ravioli Wade's been here since the beginning as well, so this is another heritage player. 6-7 finish, extremely tough division. Bad luck for him there for Wade. Waiver wire moves. He averaged 13, pretty middling, which is it's about average to have somewhere between like 13 to 20 moves. The most moves was 34 this year for a team, so 13 is pretty even. Always going running back in the first round. Running back, wide receiver split. Between rounds 2 and 3. Round 4, I'm taking a wide receiver baby every time, and maybe picking up a QB in round 5. Keeper options, it's got to be Christian McCaffrey, right? That's who he keeps. So I would assume quarterback round 5, wide receiver round 4, and the first 3 rounds, 2-to-1 ratio there. So this team had the 3rd highest points for, the 4th highest points against, and he didn't make the playoffs. It's just crazy how the matchups Matchups can fuck you over so bad. Allen sweeps 5-8 finish last year. The Rodeo Clown winner. Be proud. Be proud. Be a proud clown. 50% less waiver wire moves last season. You got your money back, which was it's awesome. Anytime you can spend and get entertainment out of something, get your money right back at you. I mean, that's awesome. That's exactly what you want from entertainment. Waiver wire moves right around 11. It's pretty low. This was pretty low move season for Allen. I don't know if Allen maybe just wasn't as available as he was previous seasons or something, but typically Allen's somebody also that you got to watch out for on the waiver wire. If he gets ahead of you on the waiver wire, he's definitely going to pick somebody up that you want. But that was the other problem with the waiver wire is there was so many moves from one week to another. A lot of guys were getting sniped off the roster before you could even get to them. There was a little bit. I got to tell you guys, I'm not a big fan of juggling. Can we maybe not juggle players on the fucking wire? If I see you juggling players on the wire, I'm going to slap your hand. Please don't do it. Keep your hand out of that cookie jar. Keeper option is probably Mahomes. I don't even want to talk about this fucking draft strategy, but I'm going to. Tight end, round 2. Why not? I think that was Rudolph in round 2. No, I'm just kidding. Running back, quarterback first. This strategy it's Allen. This is Allen right here. This is Allen in a line graph form. It works for him. Allen's had some successful seasons. Last year was unfortunately maybe one gamble too much, but Mahomes is probably the keeper option here. We'll see what he does with that. Yeah, I think maybe a trade could have held for Allen last year. It was and also putting this Allen's 5-8 finish into context. He had the highest points against of any other team in the league. So everybody brought their A game against Allen last year, and it just didn't work out for him. Grant, the big old titties, 6-7 finish, lost to Allen in the Rodeo Clone bracket to take the big L for the season. Most wire moves with 34. And now you know what I was talking about juggling. This team was in the top 5 for points for, but didn't make the playoffs. Running back, wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver, quarterback. It's not that I'm against. I know I'm making a funny face every time I say tight end in the top 5 picks, but I'm just surprised. I don't know. I think you're getting your value at it. I just don't know that you have to do that. But I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to do it. Let's keep doing that. Keep selecting tight ends in the top 5, please. And there's not 5 tight ends, guys, that need to go in the top. Okay, I'm going to go on it a little bit. Going to go on and go in and on a little bit. There's not 5 tight ends that need to go in the top 5. There's maybe 2 or 3. And if it's one of those 2 or 3, okay. I don't even think there's 3. There's definitely just 2. Just 2. Keep the risk to a minimum, guys. I'm lecturing. Keeper options are Barkley and Kirk Cousins. I could see either one here, honestly. I could see Grant going with either one of these guys as his keeper in the 2020 season. That's it. That's all I got for you. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this preview as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you. I am going to go look at draft charts position by position and just make sure that I got this down. I did a fun thing. I had a phone call with Grant earlier today, and there's something called there's a draft you can do. It's like a draft game where you're trying to draft the best players from last season to make the best possible team, and then it plays out the season, like puts your aces in the slots and it's like tries to give you what your maximum would be. There's like a top score of 3,000. There's a perfect score. I don't even think a perfect score is really possible. So there's too much overlap, like the position limits and stuff like that. So anyways, peace out, guys. See you on the flip side. And the draft on, Monday. Sunday, not Monday. Don't show up on Monday. We won't be having a draft on Monday. Sunday, guys. Sunday. Fantasy football draft on Sunday.